What drives a parent to commit an act so unimaginable? How does someone harm a vulnerable, defenseless child in such a deliberate and heartless manner? This devastating case from Texas forces us to confront a chilling reality. On March 20, 2023, Deantre Flanigan, a 26-year-old man, took the life of his 2-year-old daughter, Zava, in a brutal act of violence, all while her helpless mother was forced to witness the horror unfold over FaceTime. Let's watch the full video on Texas dad murdered 2-year-old daughter, but before we begin, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on stories like this. Stick with us as we delve into the tragic events and explore the far-reaching implications of this shocking crime. The crime unfolds, a heartbreaking reality. What began as an ordinary day on March 20, 2023, quickly spiraled into a tragedy that no family should ever face. Deantre Flanigan, driven by jealousy and rage, abducted his 2-year-old daughter, Zava, from her daycare. He then confronted the child's mother, Kisten Watson, at a retail store nearby, demanding her phone and passcode. Flanigan's threats to harm their daughter if she did not comply were accompanied by violence, as he struck Kisten in the face before fleeing with Zava. In sheer desperation, Kisten contacted the authorities, pleading for help and alerting them to Flanigan's history of violent threats. She had previously warned law enforcement about his dangerous behavior, but those warnings had gone unheeded. This failure to act left her helpless as the situation escalated to a horrifying climax. As Flanigan sped away with Zava, a high-stakes police chase unfolded. Officers tracked his location using his phone, attempting to negotiate and bring the situation under control. Despite their efforts, Flanigan remained defiant, refusing to halt his reckless actions. Throughout the ordeal, Kisten stayed on FaceTime with him, forced to watch in terror as her child's safety hung in the balance. The pursuit, a desperate race against time. Tension escalated as law enforcement scrambled to intercept Deantre Flanigan. With the assistance of Houston police and multiple agencies, officers closed in, determined to bring the situation to a peaceful conclusion. Throughout the ordeal, Zava's mother, Kisten, remained on FaceTime with Flanigan, begging him to stop and pleading for her daughter's safety. Flanigan, however, showed no signs of remorse, his actions driven by rage and a chilling disregard for his child's life. Unbeknownst to authorities at the time, Zava was already in critical condition. During the high-speed chase, she was reportedly unrestrained in the vehicle, leading to her being thrown around. Tragically, the lack of a car seat was not the cause of her fatal injuries. The young girl had been subjected to unimaginable violence, blunt force trauma, and strangulation inflicted by her own father. Flanigan had ended her life in a calculated act of cruelty, even as law enforcement drew closer. Finally, police managed to stop the vehicle and extract both Flanigan and Zava. Tragically, it was too late. Zava was rushed to the hospital, where doctors confirmed her death, leaving her family and the community shattered by the horrific outcome. The aftermath: unimaginable grief and shock. The brutal murder of 2-year-old Zava by her father sent shockwaves through all who heard the story. For her mother, Kisten, the loss was unbearable. Flanigan, angry and controlling, had weaponized their daughter in an act of vengeance, punishing Kisten for attempting to leave their toxic relationship. During the trial, Kisten tearfully recounted the harrowing events. She described the horrifying moment she saw her daughter's face covered in blood over FaceTime, begging Flanigan to stop. He not only ignored her pleas but coldly shifted the blame, accusing her of causing the tragedy. This call, capturing Zava's final moments, became a central piece of evidence for the prosecution, highlighting Flanigan's calculated and intentional brutality. The devastating case left a lasting impact, a sobering reminder of the extreme consequences of unchecked anger and domestic violence. The verdict: a measure of justice for Zava. The trial concluded with Deantre Flanigan being found guilty of capital murder for the brutal killing of his daughter Zava. The jury's decision ensures that Flanigan will spend the rest of his life behind bars without the possibility of parole. While no sentence can undo the profound loss of a young, innocent life, the conviction serves as a small measure of justice for Zava, who was robbed of the chance to grow, dream, and achieve her potential. This heartbreaking case sheds light on the grave dangers of domestic violence, manipulation, and unchecked anger. It highlights how toxic relationships can spiral into catastrophic outcomes when warning signs are ignored. The tragedy serves as a stark reminder of the importance of acting swiftly and decisively when authorities are alerted to potential threats, as timely intervention could save lives. The legal perspective. A case with no defense. From a legal perspective, defending Flanigan was an almost insurmountable challenge. The horrifying crime was captured in real time via FaceTime, with multiple witnesses corroborating the events. The overwhelming evidence left little room for defense, making Flanigan's decision to proceed to trial perplexing. Defense counsel is obligated to provide the best representation possible, but in this case, the evidence was both damning and undeniable. As legal expert Bridget Williams explains, cross-examining Kisten Watson or disputing her testimony would have been an incredibly difficult task. The prosecution's case was bolstered by video evidence of the crime and Kisten's emotional recounting of her daughter's final moments. These elements painted a vivid picture of Flanigan's calculated and malevolent actions. Flanigan's attempt to deflect blame onto Kisten further demonstrated his manipulative and egotistical nature. By trying to shift responsibility, he only underscored his abusive tendencies and lack of accountability, solidifying the jury's view of his guilt. The case serves as a grim example of how destructive personal vendettas can have far-reaching and irreversible consequences. The aftermath for Zava's mother. Kisten Watson, the mother of young Zava, was left to grapple with an unthinkable loss: the murder of her own child at the hands of her former partner. Despite raising multiple warnings about Deantre Flanigan's violent tendencies to the authorities, her concerns went unaddressed, ultimately leading to this unimaginable tragedy. The heartbreak she endured during the FaceTime call, where she helplessly witnessed her daughter's murder, speaks volumes about the depth of her trauma and the failure of the system to protect her family. In the wake of this devastating loss, Kisten has channeled her grief into advocacy. She courageously shares her story to raise awareness about the pervasive dangers of domestic violence. Her resilience in the face of such profound sorrow serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of supporting survivors and addressing the red flags of abusive behavior before it's too late. Kisten's efforts highlight the urgent need for systemic changes to protect vulnerable individuals. A case that will haunt us all. This case is one that will linger in the minds of all who hear it. The murder of a child by their own parent is a crime that shakes the very foundation of trust and safety within a family. Zava's tragic death serves as a stark and painful reminder of how unchecked rage, jealousy, and the desire for control can lead to devastating consequences. Flanigan's actions represented the ultimate betrayal, not only of his innocent daughter's life, but also of his role as a father and protector. His decision to take Zava's life was a calculated act of cruelty aimed at inflicting lifelong pain on Kisten. However, his actions also ensured that he would lose all power over her, as he now faces life in prison without parole, a fitting punishment for such a heinous crime. What are your thoughts on this heartbreaking story? If this case moved you as deeply as it did us, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps bring attention to stories like these and sheds light on the importance of justice for victims. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Together, we can keep the conversation going and continue to fight for a safer world, one story at a time.